Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hi, my name is Krishnan. Today I'll be doing the Hindu news analysis. These are the 5 articles that we'll be seeing today. Let us go to the topic directly. So the first topic is about CRPF. So let us see it. So what happened last month in February 15? There was remembrance of Pulwama attack. So you all know what happened, right? So 40 personnel of CRPF were ambushed by terrorists in Kashmir. So there was the remembrance anniversary of it. So what you should know about CRPF, it is the largest paramilitary force in India. So before Pulwama, what happened in Dantewada? This is in Chhattisgarh. Okay, this is a very infamous incident. 76 CRPF personnel were killed by Maoists in Dantewada in Chhattisgarh. So here the author is analyzing various internal security scenarios and is telling how paramilitary forces are helping to keep the country safe, and in turn they are being only discriminated. So that is his stand in this article. Let us see it. So first, the author is talking about internal security scenario in India. Is telling there are marginal improvements in Northeast India. So Nagaland, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya. Is telling in these areas internal security situation is not bad. But he's telling there are improvements, but these are very insignificant improvements in left-wing extremist areas. What are left-wing extremist areas? Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha. These are left-wing extremist areas. That is Central India, Central Indian Forest, Dandakaranya region. They are left-wing extremism affected areas. And in Kashmir also. So he's telling in these areas there are improvements, but they are all insignificant. So now he's talking about deployment. So what he means by deployment is who is being sent to these areas. So what happened, we generally know army is only in these areas, right? But what has happened over the course of few years, army has been sent away. That is, army has been de-inducted. So no, Indian army is not there. Who is there? CRPF only is there. Why? Because army means people will tell you are using army against your own country, your own countrymen, your own citizens. You are using army. But what is CRPF? Central Reserve Police Force. You are using police against your countrymen. That is okay. Police will be used against the citizens only, to maintain law and order. So CRPF is there, not army, because CRPF is just a police force, right? So that is the difference. So, but what is happening to CRPF here? They are doing hard duties of army and they are overstretched. Because of this, no rest or respite. So, without rest, without respite, what is happening? The training becomes compromised. They are not having time to train. Because see, they are in very difficult terrain and difficult areas, right? So they need training in tactical areas. If they are not getting trained, what will happen? That will affect their operational capabilities. They will not be able to nab terrorists and all those things. But what central government is doing, it is going on increasing the number of assignments for CRPF, because CRPF is a very versatile agency and they are flexible with their operational procedures. For example, in Kashmir, you have the urban snowy terrain in Kashmir. But you see in left-wing extremism affected areas, it is tropical forest. So in both these areas, CRPF will be able to operate. So that shows their versatility and flexible operational procedures. So here is telling why army has been de-inducted, because if army is there, international press will tell, oh, look at them, see, they are using army on their own citizens. So what will happen? International countries will say, oh, say India is a very bad country, they are using army on their own citizens. Like that, other international countries will also think. So for that, we are using CRPF. But what is happening, because these areas are very difficult areas, there is very high casualty rates in CRPF. So what the author is saying, there is very high casualty rates in CRPF. So if you want optimum level of performance from CRPF, their training and morale should be taken care of. They should be properly trained, and what their morale is, morale means what they are asking for, that all those things should be taken care of. Morale means motivation, all those things should be taken care of. So without paying attention to this, if you give them modern weaponry, modern technology, they cannot play any role. Need of the hour is training, and you keep the morale of the personnel high. This is only the need of hour, like that the author is telling. So he's talking about need for parity. So what happened this year? A lot of family members of martyrs and former personnel turned up in large number. So what they are asking for, they are demanding old pension scheme. So last week we discussed the difference between old pension scheme and national pension scheme, right? NPS. So these two things we saw the difference. So what happened? Many government officials are asking for old pension scheme. So old pension scheme was stopped for personnel who joined after December 31, 2003. But Delhi High Court has asked these people to get OPS itself. So in fact, Delhi High Court judgment has said armed forces of the union. They are not having a distinction between army, Indian army and CRPF. In fact, Delhi High Court judgment called them armed forces of the union. But what is happening? CRPF feels they are being discriminated vis-a-vis the regular armed forces. Indian Army, Indian Navy, Indian Air Force and all you are treating well, but there is stepmotherly treatment for CRPF, like the CRPF personnel are. So they are telling where there is discrimination, they are telling there's discrimination in pension facilities and service facilities. Service facilities mean using the canteen, so on and so forth. So they are telling there is discrimination. But in spite of all this, the government is reluctant to grant them these benefits. So they are telling, no, we cannot keep you on par with armed forces, like that they are telling. But what is the way forward? The government needs to listen to the genuine grievances of the forces, because they are only taking care of internal security, right? So CRPF is taking care of internal security. If you are not listening to the genuine grievances of the country, what will happen? So you have to keep the morale of the paramilitary forces high. Then only internal security of the country will be safe and sound. So they are telling, please listen to the genuine concerns of the CRPF and the other paramilitary forces. They are also protecting the country only. So this is what the author is trying to say in this article. Let us move on to the next article. This article is about child marriage and what are the reasons for girls getting married early, and how education and wealth is impacting marriage. So we'll see all these things. So why is this in news? Because there is a huge crackdown in Assam over child marriage. So a lot of these child brides and their husbands. So basically only their husbands have been arrested. So it actually made it to the national headline. So this article is about child marriage. So what is the root cause of the problem? Why are girls getting married very early? That is mainly because they have no access to education. So we actually, from various NFHS data from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we prove this. So what does the data prove? It proves that higher education levels play a role in delaying age of marriage. So if a woman has completed over 11 years of schooling, what is her age of marriage? That is 23. So for 11 years it is 23, but if she has gone to school only for 5 years, it is 17.6 only. So that is why we are telling access to education is one of the most important reasons for early marriage. So, and we also see a lot of other variations, like rural women get married very early and urban women get married very late, and Dalit women get married very soon and upper caste women get married very late. So we are seeing all those things from the NFHS data. So, and we are seeing difference between wealth and child marriage also. So wealthier people marry their daughters late. So that also we are seeing. So like education, poverty is also one of the greatest determinant of child marriage. So why poverty is a reason means, if age increases, dowry also increases for women. So poor parents, what they'll do when their child is 16, 17, in fact 13, 14 also, they'll get married. Because if they after 20, what will happen? They'll have to give more dowry. So they'll marry them off at a very young age. So they are telling in some caste, rich people also marry their daughters very early. Why? Because they want to control land assets. And why they are doing early marriage means, if girls cross a certain age, they'll have a lot of independence and they'll marry outside their caste. So that they are telling wrong marriage. So this wrong marriage of daughters will be questioned by the community elders. So so what they are telling, so what will happen to the parents is, if the rich people there cannot if the rich people cannot control their own sons and daughters, how their community will respect them? So what they are doing, these rich people, they are getting their daughters married. They are getting their daughters married very early. So this is prevalent among the Gujjar. So economically better of caste, early marriage still prevalent. Example, Gujjar. So why they are doing it? Because they want to make sure that the girls do not choose their own partners. So with regard to girls, why girls also feeling that they should get married? Because then only they get economic security. Because girls are not going to work, right? So how they'll get economic security? By being under a man, which is her husband. So even before she gets her husband's money, what will happen? Her father also gives her money in the form of dowry, and there are various layers of payment. In the first year of in the first year of her marriage, she is expected to get some money from from her father, and then after childbirth, some money. Like that, the various layers of payment is given to the daughter. And next, marriage gives social identity. So that is also a cause. So that is also a reason, because you see single women are an exception, they are an anomaly, because marriage is near universal. Wherever you go, tribes, castes, communities, um, they all get married. So marriage is a universal phenomenon. So single women is an anomaly. If a woman is single, she'll be the only person in the society, and that will give her a very strange identity. So a lot of people are forcing themselves to marriage. Next, sexual responsibility is there, because even if a woman wants to have sex, she has to have sex within marriage. Because sex outside marriage is frowned upon in a country like India. And next, marriages are endogamous. So why? What do you mean by marriages are endogamous? Marriages are caste endogamous. That is, marriages are happening to maintain caste and community lines and hierarchy. So a woman will be married to a man only from her caste and community. Then only the hierarchy and line can be maintained. Why they are telling this is, if a woman from another caste, if a woman from one caste marries a person from another caste, there is transfusion of blood. So because of that, there will be change in hierarchy, because one woman from an upper caste has gone to lower caste, and lower caste has come to upper caste. So they are feeling there will be change of hierarchy. So to maintain that hierarchy, we'll have to marry within our caste only. Like that, the system is still prevalent. So marriage is necessary to maintain gender contract. So what is gender contract? You do this. Women should do these things only: household chores, take care of the baby, do lunch, cook. Like that, man will go to a job and get salary. So that is only gender contract. So elders feel to maintain this gender contract, we'll have to get women married very early. So why a lot of girls also accept for this early marriages? Young girls are emotionally and financially dependent on family. So they are very so they are very obedient, and they listen to their family members. They don't even know if marriage will work for them, or what they should expect from their partners. They know nothing. Just because their family members tell that they should get married, they'll get married. So how marriage market in India? So marriage market in India is based on caste, wealth, urban rural segment, so on and so forth. So what will happen? These girls can't even see. They don't even know all these things exist, and they'll see within these segments only. So so what they'll do? They'll just get married to someone from their caste and community. So as we already discussed, higher education for girls means higher dowry. So that is why women are not being allowed to study. So let us see what is happening in the employment sector. So the first question that we should be asking is, does increasing education of girls lead to increasing jobs for them? No, not at all, because the female labor participation survey, it says only 25% of educated women in India are working. So 75% women are at home in spite of being highly educated. So why is this an issue? Because low and declining employment rate means women only have to be married because their husband has to take care of them. So that is a risk, right? Women have to be financially independent. If they are not in the workforce, what will happen? Forever they'll have to beg their husbands for money. So that is what they are telling. So for marriage becomes inevitable because they want economic security. And what is happening in the workforce also? What is happening? Women are the last to be hired and the first to be fired. So during recessions, what the data says, women are being fired first because women's salary are seen as pocket money. So women are being fired first. Next, what we see in India, we see highly educated but unemployed women. We are seeing a lot of women like that. And what is happening? A lot of educated, employed women are resigning from jobs to take care of their household chores, to cook, to take care of the baby, to clean for that, and all they're resigning jobs and staying at home. And what is happening? What is conjugal contract? Conjugal contract also means the same thing only. You do these things, I'll do these things, which is happening between men and women. So what is happening? Because of this conjugal contract, there is very little autonomy for girls and women. That is, they cannot take their own decisions. They cannot, if they want to be at home, that's fine. But it should be their decision, right? But what will happen? All these decisions will be forced on the women. So that is why we are telling, because of conjugal contract, very little autonomy for women. So how are some women working? Then we see a few women working, right, in the urban spaces. So how they are working? Because the experts are telling parents allow women to work till when? Until you earn your own dowry, because we don't have money to give you dowry. You work uh, and you earn your own dowry. Next, what they are telling, sometimes they allow women to go to work because the parents cannot support their children's education, and they'll want the elder daughter to support the education of the sibling. So these two are the reasons why a lot of women are sent to work. And next, what is happening? A lot of parents feel that living off of your daughter's money is a bad thing. So they are not getting money from their daughters. And one thing why women are getting educated is, parents feel if daughters are educated, they'll get an educated man who treat her better. But unfortunately, violence rate is very high among the educated middle class of India. So this is a very unfortunate thing. Next, we'll see about the SC/ST OBC marriage. So these are the one of the poorest groups, right? So correlation between caste and poverty. So SC/ST OBC, they do not have decent work, so they are vulnerable to attack by those higher in the hierarchy. And Dalit girls are particularly more vulnerable because a lot of upper caste young men feel that they have right to access to Dalit girls. So just because they are upper caste, they feel they can violate a Dalit women. So these people get married very early because marriage is seen as a sort of protection. So this is what they're telling, and all these groups are socially disadvantaged when it comes to marriage. So in the marriage market, they are not taken very seriously, or they'll have to go through a lot of bad experiences. So this is what is about marriage and girls. So why they are getting married, what is happening in the workspace, why parents are allowing women to get married, all these things we saw here. So this is what this article is about. Let us move on to the next article. This article is about National Institute of Ocean Technology setting up green self-powered desalination plant in Lakshadweep. So what they are gonna do? They are gonna provide 6 islands in Lakshadweep with potable water. What is potable? Potable means drinkable. So what technology they'll be using? They'll be using something called as low temperature thermal desalination technology. So using this technology, what they are doing? They are converting seawater into potable water. But what they are doing so far, it is using diesel. So now they are working on making this process free of emissions, because if you use the fossil fuels like petrol, diesel, what will happen? It will do a lot of carbon. So first, let us see how low temperature thermal desalination technology works. So it basically works because of the temperature difference. So at the surface, one temperature will be there, and at the depth, one temperature will be there. So the depth is about 600 feet in the sea. So using these two, difference in the temperature, this LTDD technology works. So what will happen? Cold water will condense the water at the surface. So this the cold water condenses the water at the surface. So the surface water is warmer, right? So you can understand, right? The surface water is warm because it is on the surface itself, and sunlight will directly be on it. So that is warm. So what will happen? The technology will lower its pressure. So first there will be condensation, and what will happen? The surface water that is warmer, its pressure will be it will be completely depressurized using vacuum pumps. So after such depressurization, what it can happen is easily evaporation can happen. So once it evaporates, what will happen? You can again condense it, and the resultant water is free from salts and contaminants, and it is fit to consume. So this is what LTTD technology is all about. So, but what is the problem? The technology is using diesel. That is the problem, because it is a very precious commodity in the island. In Lakshadweep, it is a very precious commodity, and you cannot use it for everything. So they are using it to run the electric grid also. So for everything you cannot use diesel, right? So what they are going to do? Ocean thermal technology. That is what they are going to use. So energy will come from the ocean. So how this will work? Because in places like Lakshadweep, there is large difference in temperature between surface and ocean depths. So using the difference in surface and the deep waters, you can do geothermal energy harnessing. So this is what so the technology is LTTD, but now they are going to make this desalination plant self-powered. So it can using this geothermal technology, the desalination plant can run itself. So this is what this article is about. Let us move on to the next topic. This topic is about tribunal forming for a river. So why is this in news? Because the Supreme Court has had asked the center to constitute an interstate river water dispute tribunal. But what has happened is the center is telling it is not interested in setting up such tribunals, because basically the quantum of water involved is very less. So the center just told both the states involved to talk it among themselves. So what has happened? Because the time fixed for this has expired and the center has not set any tribunal yet. So that is why this is in news. So what has happened? Karnataka is building a dam across river Markandeya. So this is river Markandeya, which is a tributary of Pennayar river. So what is Tamil Nadu? Tamil Nadu is opposing it because it is a lower riparian state, and what it is saying, construction of dam will lead to reduced water flow to Tamil Nadu, obviously. So they are opposing it. So, and one more thing is building a reservoir on a tributary of Pennayar violates Interstate Water Dispute Act. So actually Karnataka is violating this act and building the dam, but the center is not interested in forming a tribunal for this issue. So we'll see about Pennayar River. This is the South Pennar River. In Tamil Nadu, it is called the Thin Pennar River. It is called as Dakshina Pinaki in Canada and Thin Pennai or Pennayar in Tamil Nadu. So this is the second longest river in Tamil Nadu after Kaveri. It runs for an entire stretch of 497 kilometers. So it almost runs for 500 kilometers. So where does the river originate? It originates in Nandi Hills in Karnataka and flows through Tamil Nadu before emptying into the Bay of Bengal. So river Markandeya is a tributary of this Pennayar river. In Kannada it is Dakshina Pinaki, and in Tamil it is Thin Pennai, and in Tamil Nadu it is the second longest river after Kaveri. So whenever we talk about all this river water dispute, what actually comes in our mind? Article 262, because to adjudicate interstate water disputes, in the constitution, it is mentioned in Article 262 only. So the parliament, what it can do using Article 262, it can set up tribunals. So what it has done, two laws they have enacted using Article 262, that is River Boards Act and Interstate Water Dispute Act. So the River Board Act provides for establishment of river boards. So whenever there is dispute regarding rivers, a river board can be set up and they can give advice regarding what can be done. And Interstate Water Dispute Act, what they'll do, using this they'll set up ad hoc tribunal. So two or more states will come and discuss, and the tribunal will go through all the proceedings, and they'll give a verdict. An award will be given. The decision of the tribunal is final and binding on the party. This is a very important. So final and binding, and even Supreme Court cannot get into this. So even Supreme Court has no jurisdiction. So these two are very important points. So the award given by this ad hoc tribunal, it is final and binding, and even Supreme Court cannot adjudicate on this matter. So whenever you think of river water disputes, what should come in mind? First, Article 262 should come in mind. Next, River Board Acts and Interstate Water Dispute Acts, both of which were formed because of the Article 262, and award given by this ad hoc tribunal, which is formed by the Interstate Water Dispute Act, is final and binding, and even Supreme Court has no jurisdiction over it. Next, we'll go on to the e-postal ballot for overseas. So why is it in news? Because the Election Commission of India is considering certain changes to the electronically transmitted postal ballot system. So what is basically happening here? So overseas Indian voters are there, right? Basically, who are overseas Indian voters? Overseas Indian voters are NRIs. So if you have given your Indian citizenship, you can't vote, right? So these people are NRIs. So NRIs will be able to vote. How they are going to vote? They'll vote using something called as electronically transmitted postal ballot system. But you'll have to send all this postal ballot to, if they are NRIs, you'll have to send it to other countries. No. So there are certain logistics related problems. So Ministry of External Affairs will iron out certain challenges. So till then we'll have to wait, like that Law Minister is telling. So we'll see about this e-postal ballot system. So what is this electronically transmitted postal ballot system? So even if you are outside the country, you can vote. So that is the main thing. Next thing is, who are eligible to vote? Classified service voters. So who are these classified service voters? The people who are in armed forces and diplomats who live outside the country, they are all classified service voters. So, and he can vote, and his wife, both of them can vote using this ETPV. So, and overseas voters, NRIs. So these three type of people can make use of the e-ballot system. So how it works? First thing, keep this in mind, it's 2-layer security. So don't forget that 2-layer. In exam they might ask how many layers. So when you are downloading it, one-time password will come, and you will have to encrypt it. That is one. And you will have to send it again. That time you will have to give a pin, and somebody have to decrypt it. So this is 2-layer. First time when you are downloading it, and second time when you are sending it. So encrypt and decrypt. So this is 2-layer system. So this you keep in mind, they might ask. So no duplication. Secrecy is maintained, and no duplication is possible because of the QR code. QR code, every time a unique QR code is generated, like all the cash payments that you make. So no duplication is possible at all. Who makes it? It is made by Election Commission of India with the help of CDAC. So CDAC, you know, right? So ECE in collaboration with CDAC is making the postal ballot, e-postal ballot. So overseas citizens also will be able to vote from now on. So as usual, because prelims is around the corner, we'll be discussing previous year questions as well. So in 1920, which of the following changes is named to Swarajya Sabha? This was a slightly difficult question. So the answer is All India Home Rule League. So after Mahatma Gandhi took charge of Home Rule League, he changed its name to Swarajya Sabha. So this is the right answer. So 3D printing has applications in which of the following? Preparation of confectionery items, manufacture of bionic ears, automotive industry, reconstructive surgeries, data processing technology. So basically everything. So the answer is D. Which of the following is the possible consequences of heavy sand mining in riverbeds? Decrease the salinity in river. Decrease this? No, it will lead to increase the salinity, right? So if one option is wrong, one is gone, one is gone, one is gone. So 2 and 3 is the right answer. So pollution of groundwater and lowering of water table. So these two are the consequences. So the answer is B. Why is a plant called Prosperous juliflora often mentioned in news? This was in news back then. So this is actually a invasive alien species. Invasive alien species. So basically what any invasive alien species will do, it will reduce the biodiversity in the area in which it grows. So 2 is the right answer. So I hope we've discussed all the questions. So that's all for the day. If you like the content, you can comment, like, and share it among your friends. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, and Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon. Bye.